Now, let's discuss the Hitler's diet and the lifestyle. Let's start with the big question. Was Hitler a vegetarian? The short answer is no. But it's more complicated than that. Hitler did reduce his meat consumption later in the life, but he wasn't a strict vegetarian. He enjoyed plenty of meat dishes throughout his life. So, where did this vegetarian myth come from? It's partially due to Nazi propaganda efforts to portray Hitler as a simple and aesthetic leader. Now, let's look at what Hitler ate. According to his chef, Hitler's favorite dishes was stuffed scarf. That's a young pigeon. Definitely not a vegetarian fare. He also enjoyed Bavarian sausage, liver dumpling, and the caviar. Not exactly the diet of the committed vegetarian. Let's talk about Hitler's actually dietary preferences. He had a sweet tooth and loved chocolates and the pastries. Sugar was a big part of his diet, often consuming it in the large quantities. He was particularly fond of chocolate cakes. Now, let's talk about Adolf Hitler's complicated relationship with religion. Hitler was raised in the Catholic family, but his views on the organized religion were complex and often contradictory. In public, he often presented himself as a Christian to appeal to the largely Christian German population. However, in the private, he expressed disdain for Christianity and its teachings. Hitler saw Christianity as a weak religion that promoted compassion and forgiveness. These values conflicted with his vision of a strong, dominant German nation. Instead, Hitler advocated for what he called positive Christianity. This was a twisted version of Christianity that removed Jewish element and promoted Nazi ideas. Now, move on to the loyalty, betrayal, and the paranoia that defines Hitler's interaction with his closest associate. Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany, was known for his charismatic yet tyrannical leadership. But what about the people who surrounded him? These were the individuals who had direct access to the Hitler and influenced his decisions. As the war progressed, the Germany's situation worsened. Cracks began to appear in the Hitler's relationship. One of the most famous examples of betrayal was the June 20th plot in 1944. This was an assassination attempt on Hitler, led by German army officers. Colonel Klaus, once a supporter of Hitler, became disillusioned and planted a bomb in Hitler's Wolf headquarters. The plot is failed, but it shook Hitler's trust in his military leadership. As the war turned against Germany, Hitler became increasingly suspicious of those around him. He started to mistrust even his most loyal followers. This paranoia led to a series of purges within the Nazi leadership. Anyone suspected of disloyalty could face severe consequences. This paranoia and the mistrust ultimately contributed to Germany's defeat in the war. It's important to note that not everyone in Hitler's inner circle was blindly loyal or a potential traitor.